is Rachel, and I'm here doing this video on my final project, which is on the advancement of HIV/AIDS. There has been a dramatic improvement over the past few decades, especially the past few years, but we still have no cure, and we're working on that, but it's definitely in the near future. So, just a few important information and dates. In around 1920, it is believed that HIV originated from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and it is also believed that it crossed from the chimpanzee species to the human species. So up until the 1980s, we weren't sure of how HIV/AIDS developed or how it transmit, or even how the number of people that had HIV/AIDS. There were sporadic cases, but they were all documented, but it wasn't sure. It was just these rare immune diseases. So by the 1980s, it had spread from many different continents. But it didn't emerge into becoming very popular in the United States until 1981, where there were cases of a rare lung disease among homosexual men, and just kind of appeared over the past few years, like rare immune diseases found in homosexual men. So in the past, it was believed that it was a homosexual disease. But by the 1982, the government, the CDC, had learned that this disease was called AIDS, and they coined that name, acquired immune deficiency. And by 1983, it is also learned that it was passed through heterosexual sex, so it was found in females, and also there was their first reports of AIDS among children. The CDC had also learned the transmission of AIDS. Other important dates is that in 1988, the WHO declared December 1st as World AIDS Day. And then also the number just continued to increase. Like, it's still a big epidemic. Really, by 1990, there were over 300,000 reported cases of AIDS. But there's so many unofficial and unreported cases, so it was estimated to be closer to 1 million. Currently, there is 8 to 10 million people estimated living with HIV worldwide. But there's been other improvements, just not all these negative things, like what we learned what is HIV/AIDS, and we learned that HIV can advance to AIDS. We've also learned how it's transmitted, and we also come up with a test called the ELSA test that detects for the virus, and we've have medication not for the cure, but to treat and reduce the replication of the virus, and it slows down and prevents damage to the immune system. The CDC also has many recommendations and guidelines to prevent HIV/AIDS, and we learned that there's 2 different strands, HIV-1 and HIV-2. And there's also a pill to help reduce your chances of getting HIV/AIDS if you're HIV negative. You take it once a year, which is pretty cool. It's been one of the most famous epidemics of the 20th century, but especially in sub-Saharan Africa. This small portion of the world holds less than 10% of the population, but it holds more than 70% of the world's HIV positive people. So it's definitely a big epidemic, and we're working on fixing that. It's just sad that many of the families cannot afford medication or proper treatment, or it just doesn't get there in time. But there's still a stigma with HIV/AIDS, and we're working on ending that discrimination, but there's been plenty of advancements, and a future for HIV/AIDS is bright, and I'm sure the cure it's near sometime in this future.